And tell your friends, because this is the event you cannot miss. The 15th Annual Stripper Olympics. Wednesday, July 15th. At Lafayette's premier gentlemen's establishment, Michael's Men's Club. Highway 90 Broussard. Doors open at 5 and show starts at 7 sharp. Tickets $30 at the door. Let the games begin. Get more details now at michaelsmensclub.com.
When strength matters, go to apfabllp.com. Precision built to last, from heavy-duty aluminum structural welding using TIG, MIG, and stick to custom metal fabrication designed exactly for your project. Need safety inspections, weld analysis, or 24-hour metal repairs? Trust A&P to get the job done. For quality craftsmanship and dependable service, visit apfabllp.com. That's apfabllp.com. A&P Fabrication and Construction. Built strong, built right.
Imagine a place where wellness, luxury, and community come together. Welcome to City Club at River Ranch, Acadiana's premier private club. Enjoy a state-of-the-art fitness center, exceptional tennis and pickleball programs, resort-style amenities, and a vibrant social atmosphere. Whether you're pursuing your fitness goals or expanding your social circle, City Club offers an unmatched member experience. Visit cityclubatriverranch.com today. City Club at River Ranch, where lifestyle meets distinction.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Karen Crow Lafayette, KLCJ-FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The FIFA World Cup semifinals are officially set. Spain beat Belgium on Friday, while England beat Norway and Argentina took out Switzerland on Saturday. Those three victors joined France, who had previously advanced, meaning it'll be France against Spain tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then England against Argentina on Wednesday afternoon, also kicking off at 2 o'clock. The Major League Baseball draft took place over the weekend, and there was plenty of local flair. Derek Curiel of LSU was taken 5th overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates, making him a potential new teammate for ace Paul Skeens. LSU also saw Jake Brown and Devin Sheeran get selected in the first 5 rounds. In total, the Tigers had 8 players selected, including local product Gavin Guidry. McNeese star pitcher Eric Knoxdime was selected by the San Francisco Giants in the 6th round. He'll be joined by Louisiana Raging Cajuns pitcher Cody Brash, who also went to the Giants a couple of rounds later. Former North Vermilion and LSU East star Tyson LeBlanc was taken by the Detroit Tigers with the 61st overall pick. As for the Houston Astros, they dropped their final series before the All-Star break to Texas, but they did add some players via a couple of first-round selections. Logan Hughes from Texas Tech at number 17 and Jake Radell from Notre Dame at number 28 were both added to the organization. Tom Kim returned to the winner's circle on the PGA Tour over the weekend. Kim won the Genesis Scottish Open with a score of 17 under. I'm Dawson Iserloh, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Good day to you and yours, and welcome into a Monday edition of RP3 and Meche. I'm the big, bald, beautiful one, Raymond Parch III, better known as RP3, and I'm joined inside the Beal and Hebert studios here in Upper Lafayette, Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers, by the formerly known as producer extraordinaire turned co-host turned LAB award-winning radio show host, podcaster, interviewer, young radio professional of the year, a man that does it all, has seen it all. 2 degrees himself, Dawson Iserloh, is back yet again today while James Meche is making his way back from lovely Minneapolis, Minnesota. Thank you for being here. A little under the weather, but you're pushing through. You're setting the example. You're setting the example, D'Lo.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't want to get into it. Obviously, I just not feeling my best.
My man's on the struggle bus today.
But we're gonna get through it. I'm already almost. I'm essentially like halfway through the day, so maybe on the other side of it. So
there you go.
Let's get through it.
Let's get through it. We'll get through it together, buddy. Okay. Coming up on this Monday edition of the show, we got two guests back to back. So hour number 2 is filled with all the guests today. And that is because we're going to start previewing Sunbelt Conference Media Days with our old friend Dan McDonald, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, former longtime sports information director at UL, and now does the ESPN play-by-play for ESPN Plus. So we're going to talk about the state of the Sunbelt, the East Division, as well as the Western Division, and, of course, the Raging Cajun. So we'll do that with Danny at 12 o'clock and then at 12:15. We're going to split that up into 2 interviews for you. And then at 12:30, we're going to talk about the Astros. We're at the All-Star break, not the way that you wanted to head into the break if you're the Stros. Bats finally wake up a little bit, and then the bullpen lets you down. So they have not been consistent. So we'll get a state of the Stros with our buddy Brett Chansey at the All-Star break. Home run derbies tonight. And then the All-Star game is tomorrow. Of course, all the festivities are in Philadelphia, where we'll also be talking about the Major League Baseball draft. It was a busy weekend for us. We had several LSU players get drafted. We had a UL player get drafted. We had a McNeese player get drafted. And we had 3 local products, 3 kids from Southwest Louisiana that got the phone call to change their lives. So we're going to dive into that a little bit later on in hour number 1 as well. So we got plenty to get to on this Monday, as we typically do. Also, the Scottish Open surprise winner, right? If you would have said that the gentleman that won, if we would have had a conversation on Friday that he would have won, we'd say, I don't think so. But a surprise winner in the Genesis Scottish Open. That's the tune-up, of course, for the Open Championship, which will be later on this week. We also have our poll question of the day to unveil. We'll get to that. But let's go ahead and get things started on a Monday. Here is today's specials.
The fellas can't help with your lunch plans, but they can serve up the top stories of the day in bite-sized pieces. Time to order up today's specials here on RP3 and Meche, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street. Order up.
The World Cup semifinals is now set. It's the first time in the history of the World Cup that the top 4 seeds, the top 4 rated teams in the World Cup advance to the semis. I saw that and I did a double take. I was like, what? Really? But then I started thinking back and going back on who's made it to the semifinal rounds, the final 4, if you will, for the World Cup. And I go, oh, okay. But your top 4, that's your huckleberry. That's what we got. For one perspective, it's going to be great for ratings, right? Because you get the big brands and you get the big names. France versus Spain will be first up. That's going to be on Tuesday. I'm going to ask Dawson a question. I'm going to wait a little while here in this opening segment to ask it because I'm confused by things. But we get France versus Spain there inside AT&T Stadium in Arlington. France is your overwhelming favorite. They have Mbappe, but we talked about it late last week. Spain has some young stars that are emerging. Like that next generation of guys is on their roster. So this is going to be epic. This is a rivalry as well. These are 2 countries that have great pride when it comes to the World Cup. They've won it So this means a lot. So that's going to be fascinating. Your other semifinal is going to be on Wednesday, and that's England versus Argentina. I got very excited when I saw Norway went up on England because they became the team that I wanted to root for. They have the breakout star of this World Cup. I don't think that's a debate, right? Like, that's Haaland. He's the guy. He's your breakout superstar from this World Cup. It was, he's even more so than the Cape Verde goalie, who I now follow on Instagram as well. But then England's been very impressive. They find ways to win. And they found a way to win again. But once again, that's going to be my second question for Dawson from what I saw in that match. So England wins 2-1 over Norway to punch their ticket. Argentina is there, and they had their hands full. Give it up to Switzerland. They attacked, and then the wheels came off in a hurry. It was like an avalanche of goals all of a sudden, and Argentina takes care of business as the defending champs, who make it all the way to the semifinals without having to defeat a single team ranked in the top 10. So many of you tinfoil hat wearers will be excited about that. So, but there was something that came up in that match that I made a note of. So we get two great semifinals, which is good. We get a rivalry between France and Spain. That's going to be tomorrow afternoon. And then on Wednesday afternoon, we're going to get England versus Argentina. Argentina's been the thorn in England's side numerous times in the World Cup, right? So there's going to be some history involved. Plus, the greatest player of all time, Messi, is on Argentina. They're trying to go back-to-back here. So two very compelling World Cup semifinals that we get. So that's all good. Not upset by that. But now I have my questions, Dawson. Are you ready for my questions? Because you know I'm not into soccer.
Yep, let's do it.
So
I'm only into soccer as of 3 weeks ago, but yeah, let's do it.
Can we talk about the two yellow cards that became a red card situation there with Argentina and Switzerland? I'm watching it live, and I was confused. And it got cleared up. You helped clear it up in the group text, and I'm in another group text with guys that are really into soccer. And they're like, yeah, because you got a second yellow, that means it's a red. And I'm like, okay. Are we taking out the best players on teams when it seems like it's unnecessary? Was that didn't feel like that deserved to be a red card violation there. And the Argentinian player flopped a little bit as well. It was originally called a yellow on him, right? Is that how I'm trying to understand this because I was very confused. And then they reviewed it and they said, no, it's actually a yellow on the Switzerland player. And since that's his second yellow, now that's automatically elevated to a red. And after that, they were cooked.
So what you have here is a rule that I'll make a comparison for you. It should be pretty easy to catch on. This is like the basketball. 2 flagrant ones is a flagrant 2, essentially, and you're disqualified, right? 2 technical fouls. The problem is the first, you can get a yellow card for a lot less than you can get, like a flagrant, I feel like. And the rule is what they reviewed here is that since it was called a yellow on the field, they called that the Switzerland player flopped. And so it's essentially exactly what they've done like in college basketball, where like the flopping now is a yellow card. It's like a technical foul, so to speak. And so they basically said, well, if we're ruling that it's not a yellow card, we're saying that the official saw the player fall because he flopped. So now this is like, we can't do one without the other. We have to take the yellow away from this player and then give it to the other player for flopping, since we now know there was no foul committed. The broadcast said it, and I agree. Let's just take the yellow away and say play on here. Let's just say no foul, just carry on. Like, why do we have to attribute that yellow? And then
that decimated Switzerland.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're playing, again, with the rule in basketball, you get a player ejected. Okay, you put a fifth player in soccer, you're playing down a man, and I get it. It's traditional. I like that's a rule in some ways, but, yeah, it changed the game for sure.
Changed the game for sure. Didn't love that, even though I felt Argentina was the better team. Okay, second question from the weekend of all the soccer watching. I'm confused because we have technology. So how can the broadcast team, how can everyone in the stadium, how can everyone on social media see that the ball hit the AVR cable and yet was not ruled that should have been out of bounds, right? But they said because the sensor didn't go off inside the soccer ball that it wasn't, and that led to an immediate goal. Like, it hit the cable, it came down, there was some confusion on the pitch, and England takes advantage of it and makes a goal on it immediately. I don't understand. Like, if there's a sensor in the ball, like, we saw it, you see the video replay, and it hits the cable. It hits it. Like, I'm a novice. I'm a big, dumb American, and I go, oh, I hit the cable. And the ball's still in play? Explain this.
I don't have much for you on this one.
Okay.
I guess it does remind me a little bit. There's been a couple instances like Minute Maid Park, and I say that with the name intentionally because it was a while ago where they actually, I think, made some adjustments eventually, but like the ball kept hitting the rafters, and there was like, well, it's kind of park rules, and so some parks play differently. And it was like, all right, Major League Baseball needs to figure this stuff out.
Didn't we have that for the World Baseball Classic or for the Astros
opener?
We
had a couple. Yeah, we had a ball hit the ceiling
in right field.
Right, and
it would have been a home run if they had the roof open.
And they have they now, like, I guess in the tweaked rule, they can decide whether they think it would have been fair or not, and they didn't, which was part of that was, I think, the Astros opener. So that's always been confusing. But no, like, the rule says the sensor didn't go off. Well, all right, but let's use common sense here.
We can literally see it. And
FIFA
that led to an immediate goal that helped change that match.
FIFA does what they want, man. It's kind of cool to watch. They're just like,
it's like the NCAA on steroids. It's kind of
the old school NCAA.
The old
NCAA.
NCAA.
Power, yeah.
Okay, so I don't feel as stupid there. Thank you. And my third question, and because I view you as an intelligent young man, is why are we having our World Cup semifinals on a Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock and a Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, so I know the answer for this one. This is because
of overseas viewership.
Right.
So they don't care about the Americans here. Fox is wanting all the eyeballs to come from the global stage. So it's essentially prime time for, say, England on Wednesday, and it'll be prime time for France and Spain on Tuesday. Correct?
Yeah, so they wanted the European viewers, and I supposedly this decision was made with the idea of who's playing in it. So I was under the assumption earlier on this tournament that these games were already slotted out time-wise. Maybe, I guess they weren't. So in theory, if the U.S. was playing, because it was brought up when Belgium played Spain, and it was a 2 o'clock start, and it was like, imagine if the U.S. were to beat Belgium, would they really be playing this game at 2 o'clock on a weekday? There's no way. And so in theory, I guess they could have put it to a primetime start.
Okay.
Now, like, look, there's a reason the Open Championship's going to be teeing off at 1 o'clock in the morning this week. Like, it just doesn't line up for everybody to have what they want.
Correct.
So I guess their thought is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
But we're the host country, though.
Yeah.
Like your comparison here, the Open Championship, because the Open Championship is played in Scotland.
Right. No, I'm with you. And the other thing about it, like we talk about now, I guess these games, at least one or two of them is going to be indoors or whatever. But like they've had these heat concerns. And you know what else has been happening with this World Cup?
But playing them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon doesn't make any sense because it's still going to be blistering hot.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's like they're not taking that into account.
That's fair.
I've gotten like, so I was in Mexico, by the way.
Yeah, you were. That's a flex.
You remember that? No, not meant to be. But like while the Mexico, when they were about to do the Mexico-England game, so it was actually fascinating because I was watching some of the local TV. I got this report, on Twitter, and I saw it, and it was like, hey, they're going to move the Mexico-England match up to 1 o'clock. And everybody was talking about it. Yeah, there was this bad storm coming through. And then there was people speculating that they were just doing it because they wanted to give the better time slot to the English fans, right? Kind of the same thing we're talking about. And I was watching like the coverage that morning because they're like, oh yeah, the storm's supposed to be really bad later on. And I'm like watching them out. Now they were speaking Spanish, and I know a little bit, un poquito, but not a ton.
Ooh, there we go. Biblioteca.
There you go. That's the library. Not relevant to this conversation, but good word. They're doing all this pregame coverage outside the stadium, right? And there's clear skies around.
Clear
and I
skies.
was like, what is going on? And then they didn't move the chime of the game. And then I heard the same thing about the game that was in Miami the other night. I heard all of a sudden them go, hey, they're going to move this game up. It's not going to start on time. And then it started on time. And I was like, who's starting all these rumors that the game times are going to change? But anyway, yeah, they're doing it for the European audience.
All right.
But I think it's pretty silly. Why not like a 4 o'clock, right? At least get on the threshold of being.
And the Sunday one, look, so we have Tuesday, which is going to be France and Spain at 2 o'clock.
In the final on Sunday, sure, it's a weekend. I get that.
In Dallas, that'll be inside Jerry World. Wednesday is going to be inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
The weather's gone there because
weather's gone at the two
so
things.
Fair.
That's going to be the infamous Hand of God. You know, you're going to hear a lot of that about Marandota's Hand of God in '86 against England. That would have been the quarterfinals. See, I know some soccer.
There you go.
But then for all the marbles, for the gold little trophy shaws, that's going to be on Sunday at 2 o'clock as well.
Right. And that one's outdoors at MetLife, which is also just a terrible venue for the champ. I get it. But then the dumb thing is like the answer is, well, New York City, big. It's not even in New York, by the way. It's in New Jersey, East Rutherford. Oh, all those famed cities in America you talk about, like East Rutherford, New Jersey. Is that on your list? So anyway, ridiculous that they're playing that game there, but,
It's a little ridiculous, so there you go. So we're all set. Semifinals, first one tomorrow, and the other one will be on Wednesday. And, of course, we'll be locked into it all. We got to take a timeout. When we come back here on RP3 and Mesh, we'll unveil our poll question of the day and get to your comments. That's next.
Today's specials here on RP3 and Mesh, presented by Southwest Volkswagen, located at 6184 Johnston Street.
Now is a great time to save at Southwest Volkswagen as summer is getting hot. Get the 2026 Volkswagen Atlas for only 0.9 APR for 48 months or take advantage of $3,500 in customer bonus cash. The Volkswagen Atlas with third-row seating, amazing technology, and one of the most comfortable drives you'll experience. Don't wait. Get down to Southwest Volkswagen today. Located at 6184 Johnston Street in Lafayette, or you can give them a call, 337-895-0110 for more details.
Make sure to set your alarm and tune in Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock for Sports Shorts here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Join me, Ronnie Rance, and the Sports Shorts team of Tommy Christsan, Hunter McCann, and the crazy man, Joel Davis, as we break down the sports and teams that you love. The LSU Tigers, New Orleans Saints, and everything in between. Tune in Saturday mornings from 10 to noon for Sports Shorts here on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Around Acadiana, community means supporting the businesses that make our hometown special. That's why we're proud to spotlight local companies that are certified South Louisiana.
Delta Home Center and Delta Trailer Sales, your one-stop shop for utility and cargo trailers. Heavy-duty dump and gooseneck trailers, portable buildings, cabins, decks, porches, fences, carports, and site-built metal shops. Located at Exit 7 in Carencro or at deltatrailersales.com.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Oh, look who's here.
Everybody Loves Raymond is on MeTV.
Who told you that?
Raymond!
America's #1 classic TV network.
Nothing even comes close.
Enjoy 2 back-to-back episodes every weeknight.
We're doing it twice.
Watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, it's all about you, Raymond.
Weeknights starting at 8 on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0471. 800-245-0471. 800-245-0471. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0471.
The biggest headlines in the world of sports are discussed here. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Oh, before we unveil our poll question of the day, I just want to get to some news and notes to share with you. I thought our guy D'Lo would be talking about Ryan Blaney winning a 3-wide battle on the final lap in Atlanta. That's a big deal.
Well, I'll tell you what happened there is I was excited for this. I actually fired up the barbecue pit, had my dad over, watched the race. They hit the rain delay. He goes, well, this looks like it's going to be a while. He heads home. I stay up. I knew I had to be here early. And I stayed. I saw they were going to go back green again, and then I looked at the clock, and I looked at the number of laps left, and I made a business decision. So, obviously, I found out who won the race. I know who won it. I still have not actually watched the finish, though. I want to kind of, absorb that in its entirety. I'm going to go back and watch maybe the last 10 laps or so.
It's a big victory for him, though.
He was awesome, yes. I mean, he dominated that race. Yeah, Penske's had a weird year, but Blaney's been himself for the most part.
And Atlanta's kind of a beast, right?
Yeah, Atlanta's tough. I mean, well, the new Atlanta too. I mean, it races more like Daytona or Talladega than anything
because of the banks.
Yeah, and they've kind of like brought it back. They made it more banked, and so to dominate a race like that, he won both stages and the race. I mean, that doesn't happen often in a track like that. So yeah,
no, it doesn't.
That's big for Blaney.
Soccer and NASCAR talk from your boy RP3 today. Starting off the week strong. Conor McGregor made his return to the octagon after 5 years.
Yeah, things I stayed up to watch.
Ooh, that was, look, he has lost 4 of his last 5 bouts in the UFC, by the way. He's lost 4 of his last 5. He hadn't been in the octagon in 5 years. The guy that took the fight game by storm, that became a cultural phenomenon, became the biggest name in UFC, is not the same guy. He does not exist.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this because
he just doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He blew out his knee.
And then there's all
trying
this
to do
controversy.
A crazy kick to start off with.
Did he hurt it beforehand? And then they showed the footage of him warming up, and they said no, he didn't. But it just was like, yeah, a guy like, why would he try that right there?
Because he wanted to try to start off something special and catch Holloway sleeping, and it didn't work because Max ain't a dummy. And then he, boom. And Max tried to tell him, just stop because you're done. Because I'm just, I don't want to have to do this in front of your kids.
I thought of it. So I did watch this. I watched, this entire segment of the card. In the end, like the co-main and stuff, because I'm a big Paddy Pimblett guy.
Yeah, you are.
And Paddy choked the life out of his opponent.
He may be the new face of UFC, by the way.
Yeah, he's probably got to win a couple more.
He's
personality-wise, he's there. We'll see if the fighting matches up. But if you bought a ticket to this event, right?
Oh my God.
And I've been to one of these, but as a media member, right? So I didn't pay to get in. But I know what they go for, and I know especially if you're ringside, we're talking ridiculous prices. And now, look, the thing is, and if you're a super fan of it, you show up early, you get all the early fights, a lot of the up-and-comers, and it's a whole evening, right? So you can turn it into a whole thing. But as I learned in New Orleans, 70% of your crowd doesn't show up until, right before the co-main. And you got a total. In the co-main, and this was a rare event that had a co-main that was really pretty notable with Saint-Denis and Paddy Pimblett. You got a total of, I think, 1 minute and 45 seconds of fighting in the 2 fights combined. That's what you got.
Patty
Pumblett, 51 seconds.
That's why I don't spend that type of money on that type of stuff. I just can't do it.
Well, that's the difference, too. I mean, at least obviously in most other sports, I mean, you have a guarantee.
There was more time in the octagon from Sophie Cunningham as an impromptu ring girl than there was of the actual Conor fight, which is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and unveil that poll question of the day, Mr. Eyes Are Low. It's about, talking season. We had Big 12 Media Days last week. We got Sunbelt this week. Next week will be Southland and SEC, and we're off to the races, right? So our poll question is talking season. Are you ready? Are you ready for football season? Yes, no, or getting close. And right now, 44% of you say yes, 33% say no, 23% say getting close. I voted getting close because I'm a baseball guy, and I always feel like we're always trying to push baseball out of the way. And as fun as Tampa's going to be, D, it's just talking season. Like, it's talking. We're not even practicing yet. We have no idea if these teams are going to be any good. None. I know that my Braves are still in first place, but we need guys coming back, like our starting shortstop and our starting right fielder who are designated for assignment, by the way. Got that news earlier today. Very happy about that. I'm still locked into baseball in July and even into August. I really don't get locked into football until a couple weeks before the start of the season, after I go to a couple practices, after I see that kind of stuff. That's just me, though. So I'm getting close, but I'm not there yet.
I don't know if I'm ready for the games themselves. I am ready for the SEC to announce themselves as the Southwest Airlines Conference and have patches of different airplanes on every team's jersey. Maybe that would get me back in the mood. But hey, you know what? Southwest Airlines, I took advantage. They gave us some nice voucher cards, remember, a couple years back. That helped me book some flights down the line that were a little cheaper because of it. But no, in all seriousness, or maybe it'll be the Dr. Pepper conference, and they'll force their players to do in-game interviews drinking a Dr. Pepper like NASCAR drivers with the Coca-Colas after the race.
Look, the correct one, the correct sponsor for the SEC should be Waffle House. I mean, that just makes the most sense.
Right. And then maybe again,
and Dr. Pepper.
You got to have the patented Waffle House shooter sleeves on players throughout the match. Wow, I'm in soccer mode. The game.
Let's get to some comments.
Yeah, my answer, by the way, is no. Not ready. Not ready. Yeah,
not ready yet.
I'm sure I'll be there after media days, but I'm not there now.
Get to your comments. JPK the OD says yes with like 17 exclamation points. Only 34 days left till the first Saints game, and of course, he shared a couple of photos of former Saints running back Reuben Mays.
So. I also disagree with him though because he's counting preseason in that. Is he not? Yeah, 34 days.
Yeah, he's counting preseason.
You got to give me a day count. You got to give me the regular season opener, man. I can't do the day count on a preseason game.
Ton says, absolutely can't wait to let a group of 53 men to dictate my mood for the week. So he's Kevin. That's exactly how that is. And Kai says, not yet. Let's get through the baseball season first. And there we go, Kai. That's an attaboy for Kai. That's a good comment. I like that. Keep voting on our poll question of the day. Keep leaving your comments on Facebook and on X and on our YouTube channel, which you can watch all of our shows via our YouTube channel, ESPN Southwest Louisiana. We got to take a timeout. When we come back, it was Major League Baseball amateur draft. The Astros added players. LSU guys were taken. McNeese, UL players were taken, and we had some local flavor as well as 3 guys from Southwest Louisiana got that phone call. We'll recap it for you all next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The FIFA World Cup semifinals are officially set. Spain beat Belgium on Friday, while England beat Norway and Argentina took out Switzerland on Saturday. Those 3 victors joined France, who had previously advanced, meaning it'll be France against Spain tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then England against Argentina on Wednesday afternoon, also kicking off at 2 o'clock. The Major League Baseball draft took place over the weekend, and there was plenty of local flair. Derek Curiel of LSU was taken 5th overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates, making him a potential new teammate for ace Paul Skeens. LSU also saw Jake Brown and Devin Sheeran get selected in the first 5 rounds. In total, the Tigers had 8 players selected, including local product Gavin Guidry. McNeese star pitcher Eric Knoxdime was selected by the San Francisco Giants in the 6th round. He'll be joined by Louisiana Raging Cajuns pitcher Cody Brash, who also went to the Giants a couple of rounds later. Former North Vermilion and LSU East star Tyson LeBlanc was taken by the Detroit Tigers with the 61st overall pick. As for the Houston Astros, they dropped their final series before the All-Star break to Texas, but they did add some players via a couple of first-round selections. Logan Hughes from Texas Tech at number 17 and Jake Radell from Notre Dame at number 28 were both added to the organization. Tom Kim returned to the winner's circle on the PGA Tour over the weekend. Kim won the Genesis Scottish Open with a score of 17 under. I'm Dawson Iserloh, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 Meche and The Lowdown with D-Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Lose weight with Alex Goen patented hypnosis.
This is Lisa Stofan. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods. I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband, and he lost weight.
The only weight loss method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office because it reprograms your subconscious. Engineered to kill cravings, emotional eating, and late-night fridge attacks. Get full on half the food, so you lose the weight and you keep it off. 10 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever your goal. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Saturday, July 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome at 11 a.m. Stop smoking at 2 p.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN.com. alexgoen.com.
This is your Chiropractic Expert Minute, brought to you by Dr. Quentin Briscoe, D.C., chiropractic physician.
Injured in a car accident? Confused about what to do next? At Briscoe Chiropractic, we have been treating auto accident injuries for almost 2 decades. We focus on the diagnosing and treatment of injuries related to motor vehicle accidents, providing comprehensive care while documenting your injuries. Even minor accidents can cause injuries that may not show up right away. Ignoring these injuries could lead to chronic pain and long-term issues. At Briscoe Chiropractic, we focus on treating accident-related injuries. Our chiropractic care focuses on realigning your spine and reducing pain and helping your body heal naturally. Don't wait until the pain worsens. Early treatment is key to a full recovery.
To schedule an appointment with Briscoe Chiropractic, visit drqmb.com or call 337-534-0091. That's drqmb.com or 337-534-0091. Briscoe Chiropractic, where recovery is no accident.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
You're listening to ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station, and your home for the LSU Tigers.
Major League Baseball amateur draft was over the weekend, and I want to start off with our local kids that got picked up, and then we'll work our way from there and in with the Astros, if that's okay with you, Dawson.
Affirmative.
All right. Let's start off with our young man from North Vermilion High School who began his collegiate career playing for the LSUE Bengals, played for Jeff Willis, helped them win a national championship, by the way, was a JUCO All-American, and then went on to have a stellar season with the Kansas Jayhawks, helping them to unprecedented success as they won the Big 12 regular season and tournament championships. He was named the tournament's most outstanding player. He would then go on to be named the most outstanding player for the NCAA Lawrence Regional, the first time that Kansas had hosted a regional. He also led the team in home runs, was an absolute monster this year. He hit 341, 87 hits, 69 ribbies, 11 stolen bases, and a program record 25 home runs. That was 8th best in the country, by the way. He was selected and heard his name come off the board on the first day of the Major League Baseball draft on Saturday. The Detroit Tigers selected the former North Vermilion Patriot and LSUE Bengal with the 61st overall pick. He becomes the highest draft pick in LSUE history. And by the way, he's also the highest drafted position player in Kansas baseball history. So those are two great distinctions to have. The kid can play. If you watched him in high school, you're like, he's a ball player. You watch him at LSU, you're like, he's a ball player. You watch him at Kansas, he's like, some guys just look the part, and when they go out there, they just play, and you go, yeah, that kid's a ball player. And that's what Tyson LeBlanc is, and he gets the opportunity after a great season at Kansas, 2 great years at LSUE. He was a standout at North Vermilion, played all 4 years for the Patriots, All-State honoree 3 times. He was the Class 4A hitter of the year. Hit 460 in his high school career. Did you hit 460 in your high school career?
Not quite. Nope.
But you're still good.
Thank you.
There we go. It also helped. So he's won a state championship and earned All-State honors in high school. He went to JUCO, was an All-American, won a national championship. He goes to Kansas, is named a most outstanding player not once but twice, helps that program reach unprecedented success. Not a bad career so far for Mr. LeBlanc, who is now going to be part of the Detroit Tigers organization. Congratulations to him on that. A great, great moment for him. He wasn't the only 337 product, though, to hear his name called. When I say 337, I mean high schoolers from the area. A pair of LSU Tigers from Calcasieu Parish also heard their names called over the weekend. Jake Brown for LSU was selected number 65 overall Saturday by the Seattle Mariners in the second round of the Major League Baseball draft. Don't forget, he was selected in the 16th round back in 2023 by the Texas Rangers as a senior at Sulphur High School, but he chose to enroll at LSU, had a great career with the Tigers, helped them win the 2025 College World Series championship. He's a big slugger.
Nugget on Jake Brown. He was picked out of high school as a pitcher.
That's correct.
Changes over, focuses on hitting at LSU, and that
now
worked
he
out
did
for
both
him.
in high. He did both in high school,
of course.
But yes, 6'2", 206 pounds. Career batting average at LSU 304. 20 doubles, 28 home runs, 110 ribbies, 111 runs scored. Batted a team high 385 in the 2025 College World Series. So when they needed him the most, he stepped up in a huge way. Don't forget, at Sulphur High School, Brown was voted as the 2023 Gatorade Louisiana Baseball Player of the Year. He went 10-2 on the bump with a 1.71 ERA, surrendering just 39 hits in 73 innings while striking out 118 batters. But he also batted .336. And, and helped Sulphur to a 34-5 record in the division non-select semifinal appearance. His teammate at LSU and fellow Parish native Gavin Guidry also heard his name called as he was selected by the New York Mets with the New York Mets. I struggle to say their name because how much I have disdain for them. With the 480th pick in the draft, the former Barb High Buccaneer made an immediate impact for Jay Johnson as a freshman back in 2023, if you remember. Made 23 appearances, went 3-0, had 3 saves, helped them win the national championship, including appearing in Omaha in the College World Series. He was strong again in 2024, The back injury wiped out his 2025 season. He wasn't quite the same this last year, if we're being honest. Went 5-3 overall, 43 innings pitched, 59 strikeouts, but he's got nasty stuff. And played for Glenn Caccini there, obviously at Barb High School. He, too, was the 2022 Gatorade Louisiana High School Player of the Year. As he blasted 4 home runs and posted a .422 batting average and led the Bucks to a berth in the quarterfinals. He was also 8-0 on the bump with a 0.16 ERA and 83 strikeouts. There was talk of him coming out of high school that LSU may use him both ways because he was one of the best shortstops I've seen. So, a couple guys that grew up in Southwest Louisiana are going to have the chance to work their way up through the farm system and hopefully get one day to the show. Now, as for our colleges, well, McNeese had themselves a guy.
I want to hear it. I see you looking at it. Let's get this pronunciation going. And there's a lot of letters next to each other. In this guy's
there's a
name
lot of
that don't
them.
look
There's
like
a lot
they
of them.
should
I
go.
don't. I just call him Big Natch. That's what I do.
Yeah. I think it's Eric Knockstein.
Knockstein.
I think
that feels
it.
right.
Yeah.
That feels right. Our buddy Chaston will tell
he's
us.
talked to him about him before on the show.
Eric was taken by the San Francisco Giants with the 179th overall pick. He went in the 6th round. There was some projections, including by major outlets, that thought he was going to be a 3rd-round pick. For whatever reason, he fell. He spent 2 seasons with the Cowboys, had a breakout campaign this last year, tossed 93 innings as a senior, made 20 appearances, had 129 strikeouts. He was the Southland Conference Relief Pitcher of the Year, first-team all SLC honors, and was second-team All-American. He's from Nevada, pitched at Mesa Community College before McNeese. So congratulations to him. McNeese under Justin Hill, who, by the way, got that contract extension late last week, has yet another player drafted into Major League Baseball. It just goes to show you don't have to go to the big places to do well, right? Like, you can find a path. You can absolutely find yourself a path to the show by not going to necessarily a top-tier SEC program. And proof of that is, once again, the Louisiana Raging Cajuns had themselves a player drafted. Cody Brash, got that name right, look at me, was selected by the Giants. Why do the Giants love guys from Louisiana?
I imagine they had a scout here that maybe took a little trip, got to look at both of them on the same trip and fell in love with them both. I don't know.
Well, Tony V, the former Tennessee coach, is the skipper. Yeah. He's not doing a great job, but he's the skipper there. He's not. The Giants are a mess.
The
Giants
tough.
are a mess. But Cody Brash gets selected by the Giants with the 238th overall pick in the 8th round of the Major League Baseball draft. So he gets to join the McNeese Cowboy as well, being drafted by the Giants. He transferred to the Cajuns after Tyler Junior College. 1 season in Lafayette, playing for Coach Matt Deggs. He excelled in multiple roles and became the closer and a high-leverage reliever early in the season before transitioning into starting rotation. What do you think his role is going to be? Do you think they view him as just a reliever?
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, he did both. He throws mid to upper 90s, and he kind of proved that he can maintain it over the course of a start.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I always thought of him more as a reliever, but the Cajuns used him as a starter the back half of the year, and it worked. So
it did work. It did work. And, look, LSU had multiple guys, but only 4 were taken early on, and so many of those guys are now folded back in. Are coming back to the LSU team. They have more players than they have roster spots, which is a good problem, but there's going to be some tough decisions that are going to have to be made after bringing in guys from the portal and having guys come back now that weren't drafted or weren't drafted where they wanted to be. But, of course, Derek Curiel, he went on Saturday. A little bit of a surprise. The All-American outfielder and College World Series champion who has a nasty bat. He's a little on the small size, right? But I don't pay all that much attention to that kind of stuff. You either can play or you can't. He went 5th overall. Like, some people were expecting him to maybe be a top 10 pick, and he went 5th overall, and I was like, whoa. I was like, okay. And went to Detroit. So another example. You know, it may have been up and down where you have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows for LSU under Jay the last couple of years. I'm sorry, not Detroit, Pittsburgh. My apologies. Yep. I got confused. Curiel goes 5 overall to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Of course, that's where Paul Skeens is at. And Connor. So, look, Curiel was amazing. And he helped him win the national championship in 2025. And he was just as good this past year. But in Jay Johnson's tenure as the Tiger skipper, LSU has produced now 37 drafted players when they took Curiel. That's now over 40. With 6 selections in the first round, 17 selections in the first 5 rounds, and 25 selections in the first. Like, it's the man knows talent. And this is a down season, and he still had that many guys drafted. Like, they were terrible this year. Didn't matter. So, Curiel, we'll see if he can make his way up. It was a bit of a surprise, right? Yeah, I was watching the telecast, and they're like, whoa. They're like, he can play, but that seems a little high, and that's not where he was projected. He was actually projected 13th, but the Pirates liked him. And finally, we're not going to do a deep dive here on the Stros. We'll talk more about that with Brett Chansey. I liked the guys that they took. I know Kevin hates them because he doesn't think they can play. The kid from Texas Tech started off at Stetson, made his way up to Texas Tech, and was better at Texas Tech. Like, it wasn't a lateral thing. Like, he got better the longer he played. Logan Hughes. Houston, of course, took him. The Stros did at number 17 overall. I thought he looked very good in back-to-back seasons for the Red Raiders. He leaves Lubbock 7th all-time in home runs with 37. He had 19 in 25, 18 this year. That's 7th and 8th best in single-season history in the program. Now he's smaller. He's 5'11", 211 pounds. Is he really an outfielder? Kevin hates him. Thinks this is probably the worst thing to happen to his franchise since Jose Altuve. But this is a guy that produced. He was an All-American in college. I don't think you can have enough good baseball players. He's a good baseball player. Whether or not he ends up in the show, you never do know about these things. Whether or not he ends up in the show playing for the Astros, you never do know about these things. And they also took the Notre Dame pitcher Jack Riddell, number 28 overall. And that was because of the incentive pick due to Hunter Brown finishing 3rd in the Cy Young Award. He earned first-team All-ACC honors, third-team All-American honors, and went 8-3 with a 3.29 ERA, pitched 87 innings, struck out 116. He's 6'5", 250 pounds. I like pitchers that are built that way, Dawson. Kevin doesn't. He hates them. Thinks he's a bum. So, but I think you got 2 good players there in the first round if you're the Stros. Will they work out? It's always a crapshoot. It's harder to make it to the show in baseball than it is in any other sport. Just is. Got to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap up hour number 1. That's next.
This is RP3 and Meche, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
How many delicious small sliders can you eat? Find out by taking part in the Small Sliders Eating Contest during the Lafayette Anniversary Bash, Saturday, July 25th at the Ambassador location. There will be so much fun on that Anniversary Bash, but the main event is the eating contest. All you got to do is go to ESPNSouthwestLouisiana.com. You'll see it. The Small Sliders tab is first up, and sign up to win today.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Row coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Only the best of the best will stand proudly on the platform when Michael's Men's Club brings you the 15th Annual Stripper Olympics. Wednesday, July 15th. It's a special night of fun and games when the Stripper Olympics returns to Michael's Men's Club. Guys, it's a no-holds-barred competition. Ladies, you have a chance to win big if you're in the game. Michael's Men's Club invites you to battle it out in 3 categories. The pole, the floor show, and the most ancient art of them all, The Lap Dance. With $650 cash per category. First place overall gets $1,500. Second place overall gets $1,000. And third overall gets $500. There's $5,000 in total Stripper Olympics cash to be awarded. Plus a feature in Exotic Dancer magazine. Professional entertainers come from all over the USA to compete for the $5,000 in cash. Guys, mark your calendar and tell your friends, because this is the event you cannot miss. The 15th annual Stripper Olympics, Wednesday, July 15th, at Lafayette's premier gentlemen's establishment, Michael's Men's Club, Highway 90 Broussard. Doors open at 5 and show starts at 7 sharp. Tickets $30 at the door. Let the games begin. Get more details now at michaelsmensclub.com.
Imagine building your dream backyard pool without ever leaving your couch. With Duplessis Builders, you can go shop our in-ground gunite pool packages online, start to finish. Browse our pool designs, compare features, see exactly what's included, and choose the package that fits your style and budget. Once you purchase, our team takes over. From permit and excavation to gunite decking and final startup, you click, we build, you swim. Your backyard upgrade is just a few clicks away. Visit duplessisbuilders.net and buy your pool online today.
And now time for the Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
Ever wonder why bugs seem to love your home as much as you do? One big reason: moisture. Roaches, termites, and ants are drawn to damp areas. Check under sinks, around windows, and in attics for leaks and excess moisture. A little home maintenance goes a long way in keeping pests out. Got unwanted guests? Call Sugarland Exterminating at 337-367-1414 or visit sugarlandexterminating.com for more information.
Sugarland Exterminating. Pest-free environment we're creating. Spiders, roaches, rats, and mice. Those awful termites are not so nice. Get rid of all your pests right now. Call Sugarland Exterminating.
Termites, they're here. They're invasive. They can destroy your home if left untreated. Sugarland Exterminating has been in business for over 50 years, and they have the experience to effectively treat termites. Call 367-1414 or visit sugarlandexterminating.com.
And that has been your Expert Minute, brought to you by Sugarland Exterminating.
You know the routine. Eat, sleep, sports talk, repeat.
Well, up and at 'em. We're here.
Here is more daily sports talk from ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles.
Tom Kim, he's playing really good golf. Played a bogey-free during a tight race to finish Sunday and closed out with a 664 for a two-shot victory in the Scottish Open, better known as the Genesis Scottish Open. Got to make sure the sponsor gets the love. It's his first PGA Tour title since the fall of 2023. He's only 24, Dawson. He feels like he's been on tour for like 10 years. 24-year-old, though, has been playing good of late. After spending all season outside the top 100, he finished third at the U.S. Open and then outlasted a very strong field in a marathon day at the Renaissance Club to win the Genesis Scottish Open. Remember, he was all the way as nearly a top 10 player when he was 21. But things have gone not great for him. But it sure does seem like his game is back on track, and what a way to get things going. Now, we do know it's very rare for you to win the Scottish Open, then turn around and win the Open Championship the next week. It rarely ever happens. But good for Tom Kim.
Uncle Phil, last one to do it.
Uncle Phil's the last one to do it, but Tom Kim playing well. We'll talk about this later in the week. We only got about a minute here, bud. Who do you like going into the Open? Just right off just your gut. What does your gut tell you?
I like Rory. I like Rory to play well. Give me some – look, there's a couple guys who are always in the mix here. Chris Gotterup has been really good at these types of places. Robert McIntyre, Bobby Mack. By the way, Bobby Mack playing with Ricky Fowler this week, so that's going to be fun.
There you go.
But, yeah, those are the names that come to mind right away.
It's not Scotty.
I just
don't like where his game's at.
I'd be surprised for sure, which is the first time I've said that in a while.
It's been the first time. Now, he could have a great week, and I know maybe we're overreacting to him missing the cut for the first time in years, but it's not been a stellar 2026, right? I like Rory a lot. I like McIntyre a lot as well. But I think there's going to be an American in the mix as well. Just do. Hour one is in the books. Hour number two, we're going to kick it off with a two-part interview with our buddy, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, former longtime SID with the Raging Cajuns, and the man who's the play-by-play voice for Raging Cajun Athletics on ESPN+, Dan McDonald. We did a preview of Sun Belt Conference Football Media Days. That's next.
The heart of Acadiana is its local businesses. the people, families, and companies that help our communities thrive. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Candyland Cottage is the place to satisfy all your cravings. Find delicious ice creams, fresh fudges, truffles, hot dogs, sausage po' boys, Frito pies, and homemade shakes. Visit us in Scott and Rain for a sweet treat. Plan your next birthday party or field trip at Candyland Cottage.
Shop local, support local. Certified South Louisiana.
Did you know you can get great tasting Clear Springs artesian water delivered to your office or your doorstep at home? Clear Springs is 100% local with their own bottling facility at the world-famous Kentwood Aquifer, no chemicals added. Just pure Kentwood, Louisiana artesian water. Clear Springs Water offers delivery of 5 or 3 gallon water service with a hot and cold temperature water cooler or even single-serve bottles delivered to your home or office. Easy to reach, clearsprings.net, then contact us tab or 337-519-3563.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes, and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
Every weeknight, MeTV has your laugh therapy.
To chase away the blues or the olive drabs.
With 2 hours of MASH at 5.
This guy's ankle has tickled my funny bone.
Followed by the Andy Griffith Show at 7.
Doggone it, Otis. You're supposed to be hugging me when I'm arresting you.
But he likes you, Bart.
Weeknights on MeTV.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on Channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
Live from Upper Lafayette, this is ESPN 1037 KLWB Karen Crow Lafayette, KLCJ FM Oak Grove Lake Charles 1041, a Delta Media station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we got to go fast now.
The FIFA World Cup semifinals are officially set. Spain beat Belgium on Friday, while England beat Norway and Argentina took out Switzerland on Saturday. Those 3 victors joined France, who had previously advanced, meaning it'll be France against Spain tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then England against Argentina on Wednesday afternoon, also kicking off at 2 o'clock. The Major League Baseball draft took place over the weekend, and there was plenty of local flair. Derek Curiel of LSU was taken 5th overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates, making him a potential new teammate for ace Paul Skeens. LSU also saw Jake Brown and Devin Sheeran get selected in the first 5 rounds. In total, the Tigers had 8 players selected, including local product Gavin Guidry. McNeese star pitcher Eric Knoxdime was selected by the San Francisco Giants in the 6th round. He'll be joined by Louisiana Raging Cajuns pitcher Cody Brash, who also went to the Giants a couple of rounds later. Former North Vermilion and LSU East star Tyson LeBlanc was taken by the Detroit Tigers with the 61st overall pick. As for the Houston Astros, they dropped their final series before the All-Star break to Texas, but they did add some players via a couple of first-round selections. Logan Hughes from Texas Tech at number 17 and Jake Radell from Notre Dame at number 28 were both added to the organization. Tom Kim returned to the winner's circle on the PGA Tour over the weekend. Kim won the Genesis Scottish Open with a score of 17 under. I'm Dawson Iserlo, and this has been your 2-minute drill on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-minute drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. Dynamic duos are nothing new to Louisiana sports fans. Breeze and Colston, Burrow and Chase. And here in Acadiana, we have our very own dynamic duo.
You're beautiful.
It's the big, bald, bearded, and beautiful one, Raymond Parch III.
I'm sexy and I know it.
And the man with the best head of hair in sports talk radio in Louisiana and Mississippi, James Meche. Here is RP3 and Meche on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Hour number 2 of RP3 and Meche has arrived on this stormy Monday.
and we're going to kick things off here in the second hour. Looking ahead to the Sun Belt Conference Media Days. You've been hearing our guy Kevin Foote. He'll be down there for a couple days. We'll be broadcasting his show live from New Orleans. Our guy D-Lo, Dawson Irslow, will be doing his show from New Orleans for the 2 days. But to get us a feel of what we can expect to hear and to expect what is going to be possibly said down there in New Orleans is the man who was the longtime sports information director for the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. He turned himself into a LPA and LSWA award-winning journalist for the Daily Advertiser and for Gannett, and he is in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, and he's the ESPN Plus broadcaster, the play-by-play man, if you will, for Raging Cajun athletic contests. It's my good friend Dan McDonald joins us now. Danny, good day to you, bud. It's Sun Belt Conference Media Days week. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm great, Raymond. In fact, I'm like the old lounge comedian. I'm here all week because Sunbelt actually cranks up for me on Tuesday afternoon, doing a little thing down there. But really, the media days on Wednesday and Thursday, and everyone gets a chance to see what each of the coaches and several of the players are thinking about the season coming. And it's sort of like old home week this year. I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of old buddies, Blake Anderson, who was with UL for a while as an assistant coach, and then, of course, Billy Napier, who's back in the league at James Madison. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, before we dive into our old friends that are going to be returning to the fold, so to speak, this week, I want to talk about Commissioner Gill. I think he's done a very nice job in his role as the leader of the conference, whether that's been dealing with I guess redistricting, if you will, of the conference, adding teams that make sense from a geography standpoint, adding old rivals like Louisiana Tech, who we'll get to talking about a little bit later. Just give me your thoughts on what you've seen from Commissioner Gill, and what do you think are some of the challenges that may be presenting him, that presents him and his office this year and the years to come?
Well, I really, and maybe I look through it through rose-colored glasses, because I think the league has been very good for a while as far as just being a league package. But, they're the league in the country that makes sense because they focus on, you mentioned geography. They focus on rivalries, especially local rivalries, and they focus on natural divisions. They're the only league in the country left that has an East and a West division. And that makes it fun. And, having the addition, Texas State going to the revitalized is the term they use, Pac-12. That's still to be seen. But, I would have traded Texas State for Louisiana Tech any day of the week. Tech coming back aboard just, I think, adds to the geographical rivalry, obviously, but I think it adds to the interest of the league as far as a whole, especially in the schools that are sort of, around in our area. Now, the difficulty is, for 4 times out of 5 years, the Sun Belt was either the best or the second best G5 league in the country, and they had the best one in 2023, but they slipped back last year as far as numbers-wise, even with James Madison having the year they did. And going into this year, some of their preseason ratings aren't as good as it has been in the past. And I think a lot of that is because of massive turnover on a lot of these teams. Teams on the G5 level can, they can get so ravaged by the portal and by, going somewhere for revenue sharing. It makes an immediate impact. And there's not a team in the Sun Belt that didn't get hit pretty hard by the transfer portal this year.
No, and that's the new reality that we live in, and I do think Commissioner Gill's done a nice job kind of navigating these ever-changing waters, if you will. And I think adding a team like Louisiana Tech, to your point, makes a lot more sense than having Texas State in the mix. You go ahead and you automatically have multiple rivalries with at least 3 schools with them coming into the conference. So I think that's a smart decision, just like it was a smart decision when they went after and got themselves Marshall and all those schools on that side of the conference that already had built-in rivalries. Like, that's the model that I think is going to work. While the bigger conferences, Danny, want to go coast to coast, big, it's kind of refreshing, and it makes a lot of sense. It's a very old school way of looking at it, but his approach of building the Sun Belt Conference and keeping it successful is basing it on being a regional conference.
And even, people might look at the East and say, well, that's far flung from here. But even it is very centric. I mean, you've got JMU and Old Dominion and Marshall, all, and even App State going that far south, all right there in a group, and all of them big rivalries with each other. Then you've got the two Georgia schools on the East that are huge rivalries. They just absolutely don't like each other. There are division rivalries, and then there are rivalries within the division, and I think it's two separate things. And I think Sun Belt has a pretty good mix of both. The catch is, can they keep playing that way? Given the challenges of revenue sharing and so forth, and again, like you said, this is the world we live in, and it really makes it hard to sort of look ahead. This week is going to be a lot of fact finding because a lot of people don't really know what everybody else has because you don't have all the returnees that you can normally go back and look at. Says, hey, this team's going to be solid because they've got all these people. There aren't a lot of people that have a lot of those right now.
And to your point, and that leads me to my next question, is about James Madison. They were the belle of the ball, so to speak, last year. This is a program that's had great success at the lower level. They've made the transition look pretty easy under their former head coaches, and now the man that's going to be leading them is our old friend Billy Napier. What do you make of that fit? And do you believe that Billy can hit the ground running and maybe not have this team back in the college football playoff, but maybe have this team in the mix for competing for conference championships right off the bat?
I don't think there's any question they'll compete for a conference championship. And I put a lot of that on our buddy Coach Billy because he's done it before in the Sun Belt, and obviously he is at the program that has the most available resources as far as to go and get players in the revenue sharing. Now here's the other end of that. I've been doing a lot of number research on a lot of teams because I think numbers is the only way you can look at it now since everything is an unknown. James Madison had 27 players last year that played 300 or more snaps. Of those 27, 4 of them are back. And that's only one in the offensive line. Now, and I don't think people, really put enough credit to the offensive lines that the Cajuns had in place when Billy Napier was here. I mean, he went out and got big, talented, physical people up front, and that's why they had a lot of success. And I was just looking at the 5 offensive linemen that they brought in as far as transfers. 6'8", 321, 6'8", 310, 6'7", 307, 6'6", 325. That's going out and finding big people up front.
Yeah, those guys are built like me, Dan. That's usually a pretty.
They're huge. Yeah. They're massive. Now the question is who's going to work behind them. They don't have an established quarterback. They brought in several transfers, and they've got actually 4 people that were competing in the spring, and I'm curious to ask Billy, who's ahead right now because there are 4 guys that have a chance to play for them.
We're talking with Dan McDonald of ESPN Plus. He's the play-by-play man for Raging Cajun Athletics. He's also a Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer. He joins us here in RP3 and Meche. I want to stay in the East for a little bit here, Danny, and we talk a lot about JMU, and rightfully so, with what they did last year, and now Billy is there. But, we've seen multiple champions come out of that side of the conference in the last handful of years, right? There's been App State, there's been Coastal, there's been Marshall. When you look at all the other teams, I know a lot of focus is going to be on JMU and because of what they did last year and because of Billy. But give me a couple other teams in the East that have piqued your interest that you think may be better than people are anticipating, that could be a so-called wild card in the East in the Sun Belt this year.
Well, there's two teams that I really look at on as far as out of the East. One of them is Old Dominion. I really liked Old Dominion until I started doing a lot of research on it. It's like, they do have a quarterback returning, and they've also got a very talented quarterback, a transfer from Washington State, Jackson Potter. But, what they're going to be able to do, last year their defense was so good. Their defense took a lot of hits this year. They still have a lot of returnees, but they lost a lot of key players. If they can find themselves offensively, that's going to be the key as far as Old Dominion goes. And Marshall, I like Marshall because they've got the quarterback returning. I kind of look at the way college football is these days. If you've got your starting quarterback back that's a veteran, I think you've got a leg up. Of course, it's real easy to go out and make yourself good at quarterback with the transfer portal. Just look at what Indiana did last year. But I kind of like Marshall. They took a big hit last year as far as a lot of their team ended up going to Hattiesburg, and now a lot of their team is kind of floating out there. They struggled last year on defense. Marshall did, but I think if they can get that back together, I think they can kind of be a factor in this thing. But I still look at Old Dominion. I think they're the team that really has a chance. I mean, they were 5-7 2 years ago. They went 10-3 last year. So, they have a chance to, if they can keep that going, I don't think it's going to be – I keep looking at that game, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit. The game that JMU played against Old Dominion led 27-21 in that game late in the first half, and then JMU scored the last 42 points of the game. That's the kind of thing they could do. If ODU can sort of put things together, I think they can be, really competitive with James Madison this year.
We got to take a time out, but when we come back here on RP3 and Meche, Dan McDonald will rejoin us, and we're going to look at the Sun Belt Conference Western Division, talk a little Cajuns, talk about Louisiana Tech as well. That's all coming up next after this timeout.
This is RP3 and Meche, live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is your home for the Houston Astros.
And the Astros stun the Mariners.
Hunter Brown, Yordan Alvarez, and the rest of the Astros are looking to get back to the postseason. You can listen to every pitch, hit, and thrilling victory of the Houston Astros.
Incredible!
As Robert Ford and Steve Sparks will be on the call. Tune in this season for live Astros baseball on Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Do you know how many tax resolution firms have been forced to close because they were taking advantage of people or have gone out of business? It happens all the time. Hi, this is Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. As a matter of fact, they're national tax relief companies that are currently under court orders to cease operations. So if you have IRS issues, do not fall for the threats and scare tactics of the national so-called tax relief companies. The Bryson Law Firm has been doing this for decades. We have a AAA BBB rating, and our entire focus is IRS problems and tax liability issues. An IRS problem is a legal problem. Let the Bryson Law Firm help you get relief the right way. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Bryson Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Don't put it off any longer. Call the Bryson Law Firm. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm. The Bryson Law Firm. LSB filing number LA2519684.
Are you looking for an eye expert? Well, visit Acadiana Optics in Broussard, locally owned, founded, and operated by Broussard native Dr. Lindsay Dugas. From comprehensive eye exams for glasses and contacts to diabetic exams, pediatric eye care, emergency eye care, cataract and LASIK evaluations, Acadiana Optics provides family eye care for all vision needs. Enjoy state-of-the-art technology, designer frame selections, prescription Maui Jim sunglasses, and custom glasses and contacts. Acadiana Optics in Broussard. Call today to schedule your appointment.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit GoVote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
MeTV is America's #1 classic entertainment television network. And here's one of the reasons everybody loves MeTV.
Oh, it's a classic.
The great comedy lineup on weeknights.
This will be fun. Come on.
With Meche.
Loaded with snappy comebacks.
The Andy Griffith Show.
I was just funning with Barney.
And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Now we got a show.
Watch Meet TV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
You're listening to ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Your home for the best local sports talk in Southwest Louisiana.
Welcome back into RP3 and Meche, our good friend, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, former longtime sports information director with the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, and a man who's now part of the Louisiana Raging Cajuns ESPN Plus broadcast. Dan McDonald joins us. We talked about the East and the state of the conference to lead off our conversation today, Dan. I want to go to the West, and I want to talk about the Cajuns. I thought that Coach Dez did a nice job last year. I think he's done a nice job at the helm of the program. I know the comparisons to Billy, I believe, is totally unfair, and I think that it's just unrealistic. But I do believe he's done a nice job, and he's going to have, hopefully, keep our fingers crossed, his returning quarterback back for the whole season, which is something that hasn't happened. What do you think the expectations are for Coach Dez and the Raging Cajuns this year?
Well, one thing that, and you sort of made reference to it, they've probably, I'm sure they've had fewer transfers in the last 2 years combined than anybody else in the league. They really only had, I think 7 guys that were new last year in the program, and this year it looks like only about 5 that are going to really make an impact. Now, I think some of them will make an impact. I'm really looking forward to watching Anthony Reagan at running back. But again, some of that is, I'm sure they don't say that, but I'm sure some of that is probably financially related. But, they do have the quarterback, and I talked about that earlier. If Lunch Winfield can stay healthy, I think he's one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league. And I think now that they are pretty much had the off season to make the offense work for him, I think it's going to be a better fit for him. They had 5 different games last year that they and their opposition scored 62 or more points. And, that's some track meets that they're getting in, and I think they're going to have that this year. It's going to be exciting, if nothing else, but they themselves have a little bit of rebuilding to do. But they had a lot of sophomores and a lot of freshmen that saw a lot of time last year. And, if they can just, they pride themselves on developing the talent that they have, and they've been able to do that over the last couple of years, and I think they'll be able to do it again this year.
I want to talk about Louisiana Tech because I think it's a perfect fit. You and I have talked about this on the air, and we've talked about it at length off the air. They have been a university that thought, let's be honest, thought they were too good for the Sun Belt. Their AD made a big stink about it, and here they are joining the conference, and I think it's a perfect fit for a multitude of reasons. They come in, they already have a rivalry, a long-standing rivalry with the Raging Cajuns. They have one with ULM as well, and they have one with Southern Miss. What do you think the expectation should be for Louisiana Tech in year one here in the Sun Belt Conference?
Well, and a lot of those people that were anti-Sun Belt aren't there anymore. To be honest, a lot of those people have moved on, and I really do think from talking to people up there, which I have a lot of friends up there. I'm from North Louisiana, that I think that they really think they're convinced this was by far their best move to get out of Conference USA because it's become a shadow of its former self. But do I think Tech's going to be a factor right off the bat? Yes, I do. Because if you take all 14 teams in the league, I told you I did a lot of numbers, they've got more returnees than anybody else in the league. They returned 56% of their production last year, and they've got 123 starts returning out of that bunch. So, they've by far the best continuity as far as in the in the West Division. Do I think they're going to be a factor right off the bat? Yeah, I do. Sonny Cumbie's done a good job, and he's got a quarterback again. I keep referring to those guys, but Blake Baker was really good last year until he tore his ACL at midseason. They had to go to a guy who is a different kind of quarterback, Trey Kukuk. But they won three in a row at the end of the year under him. So, I think they've got a pretty good, solid bunch at quarterback, and, they're going to be good defensively. They had a couple of really good defensive seasons. Here's one more number I'll throw at you. 38% of their opponents' plays last year got 0 or fewer yards. Now, a lot of those were incomplete passes, but that's a pretty good number for a defense, and I think they're going to be really good defensively.
Southern Miss has a new leader, and I love the hire for the Golden Eagles. Blake Anderson was a very good and consistent coach for a long time at Arkansas State. He stepped away from being a head coach, and now he has an opportunity to be so again after Coach Huff decided to keep adding more and more places to his head coaching passport. I think they hit it out of the park here. I don't think it's going to be a quick turnaround because that's not really how Blake works in his coaching career, but I do believe it seems like Southern Miss may finally have a good coach and one that's probably going to stick around.
Well, if they are in contention, and I hope they are because I really respect and like Blake Anderson a lot. But if they're in contention, it's the coaching job of the year. Southern Miss goes into this year, I think, there are 140 some odd Division I programs in the country. They have the lowest total production returnees of anybody in the country. They were hit huge. I mean, a lot of them just went up the road to Memphis along with Charles Huff, but they also lost a lot of other people that were key factors. They don't have a solid quarterback. They got 3 guys contending there, and they're just going to have to kind of make it work as it goes along, I believe, and, because even by today's standards, that's just an incredible amount of turnover that they've got to overcome.
I agree. And it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. And leads me to my next question, Danny, because ULM always seems to be a work in progress since really 1988, 1989. But I like their coach. They seem to make some strides, right? When we watch them the last couple of years, there's moments in games. There's even games where you go, hey, maybe they're starting to turn the corner here. What's your level of confidence that the Warhawks can maybe even be a bowl team here in 2026?
Well, they were very close to being a bowl team last year. They went 5-7, and they could have easily beaten the Cajuns here because the quarterback. Again, I go back to the quarterbacks, but Aiden Armenta, had a great game here, and of course they had the running back a couple of years ago. They had Ahmad Hardy, of course, and he went to Missouri, and we know what happened with him. But if they can find a running back, they've got a lot of transfers in. If they can find that, and they got a lot of defensive experiences. They were sort of bend but don't break last year on defense. If they can find a solid running back that can produce, they won't find anybody that produces like Ahmad Hardy did, but if they can find that solid running back, I think they're going to be pretty good. They're going to have to fill a lot of spots on that offensive front, and that's the key. The schools that struggle, not only do they not have the quarterback, but they struggle, I think, in the offensive line. If you've got both of those two, you can be a factor, especially in the Sun Belt. And, if ULM can put that together, it wouldn't surprise me if they got back to that bowl eligibility this year.
Do you like the Cajuns to win the West? And if so, if not, who do you think is going to be a contender?
Well, I don't know. I tell you what, I like Troy an awful lot. I think Jared Parker's a really good coach. They struggled last year, like middle of the year when Goose Crowder, the quarterback, got hurt. But they're going to have him back, and they're going to have some talent back, and plus they're going to have the the best name combination in the league because you've got Goose Crowder at quarterback and you got Mojo Dortch out there playing wide receiver. So you can Goose to Mojo is the best name combination in the league. But I think that Troy's going to be solid. I think that they went out and got a lot of guys that out of the FCS and the Division II ranks that I think are going to make a big impact on them, and they've got a respectable number of returnees. So I think watch for them. Here's my dark horse in the whole league, and I didn't get a chance to mention them earlier. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Max Johnson can do at Georgia Southern because I think he is such a great story. He's a familiar name, of course. Started his career at LSU, has been a couple of different places. Had a gruesome injury back in 2024. He's a seventh-year guy. There's nobody in college football that's been around, quite as long as he has, and I'm really thinking if he can do some things at Georgia Southern this year, he's going to be one of the best stories in college football.
Dan, I get you out of here with this, brother. You've been doing this a long time as an SID and then as a reporter, and now you go down and you help out the conference with putting on media days. It's a busy week for you. It always is, but obviously you love it and you love this conference. Is this for you kind of the unofficial kickoff for a football season? Is this something that you look forward to every year?
Oh yeah, I've been doing my numbers research for a while now. That sort of kickstarts my year. I'll come back after this and I'll slowly start getting ready for the season. But it always fascinates me trying to compare the Sun Belt with everybody else in the group of five. They've been right there among the top. Last year they slipped back. There's a concern they'll slip back a little more this year because so many teams are having to rebuild their not just their starters but their entire roster. But I think the addition of Louisiana Tech will give everybody, especially the teams in the West, a little bit of a kickstart. I know it's got my interest peaked a little bit more to see what happens. But I think that if the Sun Belt, if some of these teams can kind of solidify their rosters, I think that's something that Coach Des has done such a good job with the Cajuns of keeping the roster intact. They haven't been hit hard by the transfer portal, and they also haven't delved into the transfer portal nearly as much as a lot of other teams in the league. And it's kind of fascinating to see the team that tries to stand pat and the teams that try to make wholesale changes. And, how it all works out, we don't know. We have no idea who's going to be really, really good, with their transfer class. Are there good athletes there? Yeah. Will they fit into the chemistry of these teams? That's yet to see. And I think that's one of the fascinating things about the Sun Belt is you have that little variation every year of teams, who's going to go up, who's going to go down.
Danny, always appreciate your time. Brother, keep up the tremendous work. Enjoy Sunbelt Conference football media days, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Appreciate it, Raymond.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
This game isn't fun. This game is a war.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hurry it up, hurry it up, hurry it up.
Powered by B1 Bank. Visit B1Bank.com to find a location near you.
Come on, let's go, you guys. Get in here, we gotta go fast now.
The FIFA World Cup semifinals are officially set. Spain beat Belgium on Friday, while England beat Norway and Argentina took out Switzerland on Saturday. Those three victors joined France, who had previously advanced, meaning it'll be France against Spain tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, and then England against Argentina on Wednesday afternoon, also kicking off at 2 o'clock. The Major League Baseball draft took place over the weekend, and there was plenty of local flair. Derek Curiel of LSU was taken 5th overall by the Pittsburgh Pirates, making him a potential new teammate for ace Paul Skeens. LSU also saw Jake Brown and Devin Sheeran get selected in the first 5 rounds. In total, the Tigers had 8 players selected, including local product Gavin Guidry. McNeese star pitcher Eric Nachtsheim was selected by the San Francisco Giants in the 6th round. He'll be joined by Louisiana Raging Cajuns pitcher Cody Brash, who also went to the Giants a couple of rounds later. Former North Vermilion and LSU East star Tyson LeBlanc was taken by the Detroit Tigers with the 61st overall pick. As for the Houston Astros, they dropped their final series before the All-Star break to Texas, but they did add some players via a couple of first-round selections. Logan Hughes from Texas Tech at number 17 and Jake Radell from Notre Dame at number 28 were both added to the organization. Tom Kim returned to the winner's circle on the PGA Tour over the weekend. Kim won the Genesis Scottish Open with a score of 17 under. I'm Dawson Iserlo, and this has been your 2-Minute Drill on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. Your home for the LSU Tigers and Houston Astros.
The 2-Minute Drill has been powered by B1 Bank. Visit b1bank.com to find a location near you. ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles is packing its bags and headed to Tampa for SEC Media Days. Tune in starting Monday, July 20th, as RP3 and Meche and The Lowdown with D'Lo will be broadcasting live from Radio Row for ESPN's Live from SEC Media Day coverage, powered by Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Kick off the 2026 season in Tampa with ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
The best businesses aren't just businesses, they're neighbors. Here's a message from a proud certified South Louisiana business.
Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino. They have the newest games around. Hot seat drawings and monthly specials like no one else. Located on the Bro Bridge Highway and on the banks of the Vermilion River. Come out today and try your luck at the Bro Bridge Truck Stop Casino.
When you support local businesses, you strengthen the communities we call home. Shop local, support local, certified South Louisiana.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices.
To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Your Honor, I would like to introduce exhibit number 1.
MeTV is America's #1 classic television network.
There can only be one number 1, me.
MeTV features over 60 of the greatest classic TV series each week.
Go with the winner.
Enjoy dramas, comedies, westerns, sci-fi, and more.
You just watch me.
Watch MeTV Acadiana on KLWB, over the air on channel 50.1. Check your local cable listings for the channel in your area.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
What is dementia? Is it the same as Alzheimer's? What is vascular dementia, Lewy body, FTD, TBI, and CTE? If someone has memory loss, does that mean they have dementia? Millions of Americans ask these questions every day. I did too, and I learned. My wife Ginny developed dementia. I didn't know what to do or what was coming next. I'm Kevin Jameson, volunteer and president of the Dementia Society of America. I'm excited to offer you a free guide to understanding dementia. It's filled with facts about dementia, care planning, how doctors can help, and ways to keep your brain as healthy as possible. The Dementia Society of America is a national nonprofit, and we're ready to answer your questions. You want to live life to the fullest. I know that. Ginny did too, and I'm confident that we can help. Get your copy of the guide. Go to 1-800-DEMENTIA.org or call 1-800-DEMENTIA. Thank you.
Helping you get through your workday. This is ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
It's time for us to bring on our next guest. He covers the Houston Astros for the Locked On Stros podcast. Our good friend, Brett Chansey. Good day to you, bud. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's All-Star Week. It's always exciting. You got the Home Run Derby tonight. You got the All-Star Game tomorrow. But we also got an exclusive interview with Neomar Ochoa Jr. out of Galena Park High School. And then we also have Justin Thomas Jr., Both of those shows will air prior to the event. So 5:45 tonight on YouTube, and then tomorrow night before the All-Star game, you can check out some rising stars in the Astros organization.
I'll get to some rising stars and some possible future rising stars that they drafted over the weekend. I want to get your thoughts about that as well a little bit later on. But let's dive in. They kind of limped to the finish line here for the All-Star break. They had an opportunity to kind of finish on an upswing. That did not happen. They went 4-6 in their last 10. They sit at 47-51 overall, 4 games below 500 and 3 games back of Texas, who's currently in first place and the only team in the division that is above 500. Just give me your thoughts here about overall the first half of the season for the team.
Well, obviously the theme, there's actually a couple themes, but I think one of the themes you can't ignore, and it's not an excuse, is injuries. Injuries over the first half have really hurt. Starters have not been reliable. And, the offense, although they can score runs, they haven't been consistent, and they have a hard time bringing runners in. I mean, they can get 10 hits in a game, but I don't know if they're going to score 7 runs or 1 run. So the way this roster is constructed, going into the season, you had this surplus of infield talent, and then you had Correa go down, so you thought that would clear things up. While Paredes has hit decently, he hasn't hit great. You had Walker go up and down. You got guys that aren't performing where they need to be. When they start performing like Pena, they go down. So it is an interesting season, and all the while, your best player is chasing a Triple Crown.
He is chasing the Triple Crown, and he's had an excellent season and definitely an MVP candidate. But let's break down where this team sits right now, and let's start about the pitching. You could have a discussion that you'd like to see what this rotation is going to look like once everyone's healthy, but I don't know. Like, are you going to have to depend on Lance McCullers again to come up to give you innings? Or are you – because it feels like they've moved J.P. France into a bullpen role down in the minors. Spencer Getty had – where he was pitcher of the month, and then he's been inconsistent and been shelled. Imai is a head case. Hunter Brown hasn't been Cy Young level. Just give me your thoughts on the rotation, and do you think it can be fixed without making a move at the deadline?
Absolutely not. It can't be. And no offense to Lance McCullers Jr., Mr. Bury Me in the H, and did everything he did in 2017. That's great. But if you're depending on Lance McCullers Jr. to be someone who helps this rotation, then you already told me that you either don't have a game plan for the future, or you're just counting on losing propositions. The Astros, if they are where they are, Joe Espada said, we're in a good spot. We're only 3 games out of first place. I'm like, that's fine and dandy, and I get that, but don't stand pat and say, well, we have these trade deadline acquisitions in form of players coming back. You don't know how these guys are going to perform coming back. Christian Javier obviously is not ready for a starting role. I mean, I think Ronel Blanco might be better option starting than Javier, and I've actually been talking to him this last week. I mean, he's ready to go. So I just think this rotation has got to have some help. You're going to have to go get a Sonny Gray. You're going to have to go get – you can't get like an Alcantara, someone like that. The Marlins are playing good. A lot of these pitching guys that are available, Scooble and all them, they're going to be taken by contenders that are actually in a much better place than you are. So if you could pull a Sonny Gray off, I don't know how you do it, but you've got to get somebody in there to help this rotation. You would love to get a number 2 guy, but the price might be inflated. But without rotation help, I don't see this team. I see this team barely getting into the playoffs. They're going to have to pull what they did in Arizona back in 23 to get into the playoffs. Wait till the last series and stuff like that. And you don't want to do that. If you don't want to do that, go out and get a pitcher. And if you want to get there, don't talk about it. Show me some action.
If they don't make a move, what should the rotation look like if everyone is healthy after the break? Let's say they are not able to make a move. What would Brett Chansey want the rotation to look like if everyone's healthy?
I would want Hunter Brown. I would want Peter Lambert as my 2. So I've got my 1 and my 2. And then if Ronel Blanco comes back and he's solid, you could slide him into number 3. You could, put Spencer Arrighetti down below that. Where is Tatsuya Imai? Is he your 4 or your 5? Are you going to have some guys as openers? I just think after 3, it gets real muddy, gets real murky. I don't really have answers for a 5-man rotation with this team because I don't know who's going to go out there and be reliable. I honestly would make AJ Blueball my 4. I mean, I would put him as a starter. I don't know why we're experimenting with Javier being a starter when you got AJ Blueball who does have starter stuff, and I think he's being underused and underutilized, or being overused in a spot where he probably can excel as a starter.
Let me ask you this, because that leads me to my next question here.
Yeah.
Can you make an argument, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of direction when it comes to the pitching staff in the last couple of years, because Hunter has thrived, but he hasn't been the same this year because he's coming off the injury. But you had J.P. France as a starter, and then he got injured, and now he's being used in a bullpen role. Christian Javier used to be a starter. Now he's possibly going to be used as a bullpen guy. You were counting on Lance McCullers, and now he's down in Sugarland. You spent a lot of money to go get Imai, and he's a basket case, and you just mentioned if you had your dream scenario, you wouldn't even have him in your starting 5 rotation. It just feels like they're throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what's sticking. And that's not good.
Right. And I can't tell you how many people I've talked to lately about the lack of knowing what direction you're going just seems very, very high right now. They may say they have a plan. They may say they're going in a certain direction. But to me, it's like they said, okay, look, we're going to take the ship off of autopilot and we're going to let the current swing our boat to wherever it, like if the wind's blowing out of the east, we're going to go west. If the wind's blowing out of the west, you know what I'm saying? Like we're almost like a ship without a rudder right now. I have no idea where this club is. I have no idea what they're going to do at the trade deadline. They could overspend, and they could go out and go get a big arm and surprise everybody and trade someone you don't think they should trade and try to make a run and then get into the ALDS and have a feeble attempt at a World Series. I just don't know. I'm starting to wonder more and more if they're in the same spot or worse at the trade deadline. Are there some big pieces they have that they should consider trading and set themselves up for 2 years down the road?
Well, and they're going to have to make a tough decision because it makes it more complicated because as it stands right now at the All-Star break, there are only 5 teams, a third of the American League that's above 500. So the league itself is down and everyone is in it, which means you're going to have more buyers than you do sellers, which could make it immensely difficult to make a splash move. And when you look at this roster, their farm system is depleted. You have the big fella Alvarez, who's an MVP candidate, Triple Crown candidate, so he's not going anywhere. But then I look at the rest of the guys, and I've brought this up to you before, do you try to move Izak since he's been traded a bunch? He's had a decent start to this season, right? 254 batting average, 12 home runs, 49 RBIs. Does someone want a guy that can play multiple positions in the infield that's got a little pop in his bat? You may be able to get something for him. Christian Walker, with the exception of Alvarez, may be your second best hitter on the team, or slugger, rather. His average is piss poor, but no one cares about that anymore. So, but I don't know. Like, you're not going to get a lot for a Cam Smith. You're not going to get a lot for a Jake Myers. So, and you don't have a farm system that's filled with talent that people want. So, even if you could make a move, how are you going to do that?
Again, you're going to have to go to some of these guys that you're talking about. I mean, you also may have to consider trading Josh Hader as well. I mean, who doesn't want a closer who can go down the stretch and possibly be in a big game? Of course, I know we're coming off the heels of him going in and looking absolutely pedestrian when he's been completely dominant since he's come back from his injury. I mean, when Josh Hader's healthy, he's one of the 5 best closers in the league, and that's why they paid him the $95 million. But, to move his contract, he would probably have to take on some of that contract. That would get some money off the books if you get another team to take even half of it. So you're going to have to look at Paredes. Look, Cam Smith would have value, I think, just because he's a Gold Glove nominee. He's got a ton of years of control, and I think he still has a high floor and a high ceiling, and I don't think he's accomplished what he's going to do over his career. The issue with Paredes is you get rid of a guy who's at third base more times than not, and with Carlos Correa being down, that makes it difficult. So you've got a couple pieces. Jeremy Pena may be a guy that you consider trading. I know people don't like to hear that because I think he's really cemented himself in this lineup. But him being here long term, I really have my doubts about that. Don't touch Jordan. I think keep him here. I think everybody else is on the table. Here's the thing. People are going to call. The Astros have to listen. They don't have to listen. I like how Chandler Rome says it. You can listen and then hang up after they give you a ridiculous offer, but they're going to take calls. And there's a lot of people selling. There's a lot of people buying. So you're going to have to probably get rid of a big major league piece to get something back, I think, with significance.
I agree. And Jim Crane does not like to sit on his hands either. So I would expect the Stros at least to be active in some sort of fashion. I only got about a minute and a half left, Brett, but just give me your thoughts of how the Stros attacked the Major League Baseball draft over the weekend.
Oh, man, I loved it, especially day one. I actually dove into day one quite a bit. Day two, I haven't really sunk my teeth into. I'm trying to get ready to put these interviews up. But, oh, man, I like their top 3 picks. I like the kid out of Texas Tech. I like Raydell out of Notre Dame. I love Mendez out of Florida State, and then I really think that they're going to sign this prep kid, this Georgia Player of the Year, Keon Johnson, who is, he's got everything. He's got off the field character. He's got tools. Some tools need to be developed, and his bat is phenomenal for a up the middle, infielder. I think their day one, they get an A from me. Their day two, I think, was, pretty good. They signed guys under slot. They got guys that were projected to go lower. They took them higher so they could get these prep guys, Bo Peterson and Keon Johnson. So I think the future is bright, and I'll say this to end this. They got guys that are pitchers and outfielders that have hit tool, that have power, that have plate discipline, and they got pitchers that are polished college pitchers. These guys are going to move fast to the Astros system. They're going to try to get these guys here sooner rather than later.
Brett, hope you have an amazing week. We won't have you on next week, bud, because we'll be in Tampa for SEC Media Days. It's talking season for college football, but we'll have you on the week after that, brother. Enjoy the All-Star break, my friend.
Sounds good. Y'all have a good one. Check out Locked on Astros. Check out Back to the Bullpen. Airs 2 o'clock today. Also, we have our 2 interviews tonight prior to Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. Make sure you subscribe to Locked on Astros. We're your team every day.
We got to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll wrap up today's show. That's next.
This is RP3 and Meche live on ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles, Southwest Louisiana's sports station. ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles is the proud winner of 4 2026 LAB Prestige Awards, including Best Use of Digital Media, Foot's Friday Fury, Best Live On-Site Remote for our Super Bowl Radio Road coverage, Best Promotion for our No Shave November initiative, and Radio Young Professional of the Year for Dawson Iserloh. We're proud of being Southwest Louisiana's sports station and are humbled to be recognized by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters.
Ozempic, Wegovy, GLP-1s. Every day, one thought haunts you. What if I stop? A 2026 British Medical Journal study says you're going to gain every pound back. So, what now? Well, there's an answer. Alex Goen patented hypnosis. The Journal of the American Medical Association says adding behavior therapy to GLP-1s produces 3 times the results than GLP-1s alone. And hypnosis is behavior therapy concentrated. Alex Goen Hypnosis is the only U.S. patented hypnosis proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office. Engineered to destroy cravings, make you full on half the food, and kill late-night fridge attacks. Only $59.99 or your money back. Weight loss seminar Saturday, July 18th at the Hilton Garden Inn Cajun Dome, 11 a.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. That's ALEXGOEN.com.
It's 9 a.m. You just received a voicemail from your boss.
Hey, Janet. Heads up. We got an important meeting coming up Thursday. The big guys are coming into town, so I need you in charge of lunch, and we've got to look good.
Luckily for Janet, she knows a place, and she knows her boss will be impressed.
Honey Baked Ham can cater your next event. Delicious and freshly sliced deli trays, box lunches with sandwich, chips, and dessert. Or try our fresh salad boxes and the perfect touch with a meat and cheese tray. Honey Baked Ham Company.
Home electrical safety, up next from Mr. Electric. Because one power strip can clearly handle your TV, your radio, your lamp, your phone charger, your heater, and whatever else you get plugged in there. Of course, that's sarcasm. Do not overload your outlets, and never run cords under rugs or furniture. And if an outlet is hot, a breaker keeps tripping, or something smells suspiciously bad, call a licensed electrician. When it comes to electricity, trying to be a hero is a great way to end up in the news for the wrong reason.
If you would like to learn more, visit MrElectric.com.
It's generator season. Here's Sean Dore with Mr. Electric.
Standby generators are automatic. These come on right as your power's off. Right when you lose power, here comes your generator power within less than a minute. And now you're running like normal. And so those generators, they're a little more expensive, but they are very convenient.
Call Mr. Electric today or see us on Facebook.
This is ESPN 1037 Lafayette and 1041 Lake Charles. Broadcasting live from the Beal and Hebert studios in Upper Lafayette. Beal and Hebert, Acadiana's hometown lawyers. Back to more of Southwest Louisiana's sports station.
Oh, some breaking news. Raging Cajuns have been picked to finish second in the Sun Belt West. They received 1 first-place vote. Troy was picked to win the West with 12 first-place votes. That's the coaches. Or is that media? That's the coaches?
Coaches. They
preseason?
do not. They don't do a media poll in the Sun Belt.
That's right. They don't. So coaches have selected Troy to win the West, but UL is right behind them in second. Shelton Sampson Jr. and DB Brent Gordon Jr. They're only 2 Cajuns named to the preseason All Sun Belt first team. Cade Morrow and Fitzgerald West were named preseason second team honors. So share that with you. And take a moment to thank our guest, Dan McDonald, the legend, the Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, helping us get prepared for Sun Belt Conference Media Days. And, of course, Brett Chansey from Locked On Astros. I don't want to end with an update on the poll. I want to ask you a personal question. Are you ready?
Possibly.
What is scarier?
Okay.
The bison in Yellowstone Park that attacked the people and continued to charge them and threw the guy up like he was a cartoon character, or the flooding that happened in China that created a river of cobras, like we're talking 500 to 600 venomous snakes that got washed away from a farm that are just now in flooded regions of China. What's scarier for you?
The snakes are way worse.
Way worse, right?
Yeah. One buffalo. Now, look, he definitely
they couldn't get away from him, though. They tried. He tracked him down,
I
man.
do understand. I mean, as far as I know, I don't want to be wrong. The guy did survive from what I hear, right?
Serious injuries, but he is recovering in the hospital, yes.
Yeah, you can pinpoint that one buff. The fear of the unknown is the biggest fear there is, right?
When I saw the footage, I thought it was AI of the flooded river region, and in the middle, it almost looks like a boat, and it's nothing but venomous snakes. And the cobras, they got their popped up like they're going to strike, and they're just around in the water. Can you imagine? No. I've been flooded. And then you go, I'm surrounded by venomous snakes.
Look, like snakes in general, man, they're I mean, obviously there's all kinds of connections to the Bible and stuff in the underworld, and I mean, that's probably for good reason. Like, we get little tiny, little pond snakes by my house. And, I'm not scared of them, but they still spook you when you see one unexpectedly, right? I mean, you're talking about, and those I know can't hurt me. But this, you're talking about, no, that's.
Can you just an armada of cobras coming your way? Like, no.
And you can't even surrender to them. They don't speak English. That's the worst part.
Oh, thank you, D. Thank you for filling in for James. We'll be back on the air tomorrow, 11 to 1. Meche will be back with us as well. But keep it locked in right here because the Lowdown with D-Lo is next.
Only the best of the best will stand proudly on the platform when Michael's Men's Club brings you the 15th Annual Stripper Olympics. Wednesday, July 15th. It's a special night of fun and games when the Stripper Olympics returns to Michael's Men's Club. Guys, it's a no-holds-barred competition. Ladies, you have a chance to win big if you're in the game. Michael's Men's Club invites you to battle it out in 3 categories. The full